Alright, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, man, of September 9th, 2021. In case you forgot the year, or in case I record this video and like someone years ahead watches it. Well, this is 2021, man. Hopefully the world is better in the future. I hope so, man. Right now we're dealing with a lot. This virus thing's still going on, the Delta, you know. I don't know in the future if it's gonna get better. Maybe there's an alpha, maybe there's an omega. I don't know, man. Hope it stops though. But yeah, man, I was just listening to some podcasts, man. I mean, that's all I do, especially at work, cause at work they let us wear headphones and stuff. So I'll be wearing my AirPods, you know, listening to shit. And of course I'm listening to music, but like eventually kind of get tired of that. I just have like hours to listen to stuff, so I just be listening to podcasts too. And you learn a lot, man. Well, at least that's how I learn. I learn a lot from listening to other people's stories, listening to other people's lives, you know, taking the lessons that they learn and stuff, applying it to my life, so I don't repeat the same mistakes. But yeah, man, I like listening to podcasts because usually on podcasts, people are very vulnerable. Like, podcasts usually go along and go for like, you know, they usually go for like an hour or more. So that's like an hour or more of just people just straight up talking, man. Usually when that happens, a lot of people are very vulnerable, talk about a lot of stuff, and that actually like helps me relate and stuff when people are vulnerable. Cause like I was listening to I don't know if you know who Timothy Delgado is, but I was listening to his podcast, No Chaser, and it's just interesting listening to him. Cause first of all, this guy's a very outgoing guy, talkative guy, you know. That's how he seems. But then, as I listened to his podcast, I learned that this guy's actually an introvert. Like, he does not really like people. He'd rather be at home, keep to himself, chill with him and his wife and his kid. That's the type of thing that he likes. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy to think that that's how he is. Because this whole time, he's like, I thought he was an extrovert. Because this guy's always talking, making jokes. You know, he's like a comedian type guy. He was on Wild 'N Out, big ass groups, making jokes, roasting and stuff. So to find out that this guy's an introvert the whole time, that kind of blew my mind. But yeah, it just kind of like opens your mind up to different types of things. Like there's people out there, you know, different types of people. It's so crazy to think that I'm an introvert too, right? So I don't really like people. I don't really like social stuff. But the fact that he was able, just to see him as an example of somebody that was an introvert too, but still finds a way to be social, finds a way to be outgoing and stuff, that kind of like inspires me to try to do the same, you know. I'm like, this guy's the same thing as me. He's an introvert, but he's still able to do all this stuff. So I'm like, shit, that should be me too. So just seeing stuff like that, and also like listening to him and talk about his relationship, because of course all we get to see is just whatever he puts online, you know, all the YouTube videos, all the vlogs, all the Instagram posts and stuff like that, all the photos. That's all we get to see. But of course, anybody that posts anything online, they're only gonna post the good stuff, you know. They're not gonna post all the stuff behind doors that we don't know about, all the arguments, all the, you know, all the shit that be going on, all their conflicts and stuff. No, they're just gonna post the good. So, you know, this whole time I just seen all the good of his relationship. You know, they seem like a very loving couple and stuff. It seemed like they get along and stuff. But as you listen to their podcast and he talks about his relationship, you realize that they be going through some shit. Like they've been together for like 10 years. And then, of course, the 10 years is not going to be easy. But just hearing him talk about his stories about how, you know, they be going through some shit. They be going through arguments. They be going through all types of stuff. Just, I'm like, wow, it makes Tim seem more human. You know, makes him seem more relatable and stuff. And like another couple that I kind of like, not look up to, but like they seem like a great couple. They're called Nikki and Steve. They're part of like they have another podcast called Shit They Don't Tell You. But they're like if you know who they are and how they act, they're like a great couple. Like they really seem great for each other. They love each other a lot. You know, I was listening to the podcast, listening about how great their relationship is. Like this guy go through some crazy stuff. Like I remember there was a story of his wife now, but at the time his girlfriend. was trying to print something, right? But then her printer wasn't working, something like that. So that Steve really went to the store, bought her a whole new printer, and gave it to her. I'm like, damn, man. I mean, I'm not saying that's like what you should do, but like, it just shows how much he loves her and stuff like that. But then, you know, they just seem to have a really good relationship. The way that they communicate, the way that they talk about each other, stuff like that. But then I remember listening to their podcast too and hearing about the types of arguments that they had, especially they talked about how their first year was really bad and how it was like they argued so much, and they gave examples of stuff like just some simple stuff like he would do the dishes wrong a certain way that she didn't like, and she would always communicate to him that, no, I don't like it when you do that, it bothers me or whatever. And then he kept doing it over and over again because he didn't think it was a big deal. It's just dishes. But then eventually she kind of blew up on him and said that you never listen to me when I always tell you do this when you do the dishes. No, 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 no. And that clicked for him about how, oh, it's not about the dishes itself. It's about the fact that she doesn't listen to him. I mean, she feels like he doesn't listen to her. Like, for example, with the dishes. But just like they it's just so crazy hearing about their stories, because makes me feel better. Kind of like this is a great couple from what I've seen, the way that they portray themselves, the way that their friends act about them, how they're like the perfect couple. But then they're vulnerable and open on their podcast and talked about their arguments and stuff, all that stuff. It made me feel better because I'm in a relationship too, so we'd be arguing and stuff. That's normal. But it just made me feel better about that. I'm like, oh, even these guys that I see online that seem like such a perfect couple, they go through shit and they argue too. So it makes me feel okay about arguing with my girlfriend. I mean, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it makes me feel better. Makes me feel like it's normal. Like it's not just us arguing. Even everybody argues, and like even these perfect couples that seem so perfect online, they argue too. So just stuff like that. So just like when people are vulnerable and open with themselves, and they tell even the bad things about their lives, kind of like makes it more relatable, because we all kind of go through the same shit, go through the same conflicts, go through all that type of stuff, and most of us, we don't really talk about it. We just keep it to ourselves. But if you do talk about it and you're open and vulnerable with it, you'll find out a lot of other people going through the same thing that you're going through, and it makes you feel better. It makes you feel better. It's like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one having this problem. Other people are going through it too. So yeah, I just love, just listening to people too, not just podcasts, but listening to people's lives. I talk to my friends and stuff, just listening about their lives, like the shit they be going through. I'm like, oh shit, we all go through the same shit, man. We all got problems. We're all sad sometimes. We're all happy sometimes. We all have ups and downs, but we're all going through shit together, man. Together. Yeah. Just makes you feel more vulnerable or better. That's why I try to be as honest as I can when I make these podcasts. Try to be as vulnerable as I can, because just to, maybe you can relate to some of my problems. Maybe you can, makes you feel better. Because that's how I am whenever I listen to people. I listen to what the fuck they're going through, That's how it is, man. That's how it is. You just gotta be, we all got shit going on, man. We all got shit going on. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say, man. Just, the fact that you're not alone, man. We all got shit going on. We all got problems. We all got things. Just open up, talk to somebody, man. I like to put my thoughts online, put on video, I don't know. That's just the way I like to do it. It's kind of therapeutic. It's not good to hold things in, man. Talk about it. And the thing is like when you talk with like people you care about, your friends, family, loved one, and like you're vulnerable with them, telling them about your past, telling them about things that happened to you. Usually people, they have a story that goes with yours too, and they've been through some shit that you go through too, And then that helps you guys bond if you two are very vulnerable with each other, because it shows that, oh, there's a trust. I can open myself up, and you accept me for who I am, and you accept my flaws, my past, and they do the same to you. It just feels good, man. That's the thing that I have trouble with, but I think it's just because I've had bad experiences in the past opening up, I think that's kind of closed me down. But I'm working on it. I feel better. You know, like I tell my friends I love you and stuff. I never did that before. I always felt so weird about it. But, you know, just being more open and comfortable and vulnerable. You know, just something you got to work on. But yeah, man. Hope that's something that you can work on too if you have that problem, man. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say, man. Just, you know, when people are vulnerable, makes them more relatable. Makes you feel better. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of just be rambling, but hopefully you got something out of that, a little lesson or something, or related, or learned, or whatever. I don't know, or at least got entertained. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for watching. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to watch me just talk on camera. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.